Good evening, mamas, and welcome to Midlight, your light in the middle of the night. Tonight I wanted to talk to you a little bit about trials, and when we face trials in our lives. It's never an easy thing to face trials and handle it with joy, but the Bible does tell us in James chapter 1 and verse 2, and it says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." So the Bible tells us to consider it joy when we face trials. It's important to remember that joy is actually a fruit of the Spirit. In Galatians chapter 5 and verse 22, it tells us that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. So joy is a fruit of the Spirit. It is something that comes from a relationship with God. We can have that in the midst of trials. Trials can look so different for each of us, but we know what they are, whether it's trying to figure out who we are in a postpartum world, or if it's something like a medical situation or a heart condition, something that just hurts us either physically or emotionally. It can be a trial, and some of us walk through seasons of that. But I would encourage you in those moments of trials to consider it joy that God is doing something. He is doing something in you, and you get to choose how to handle it. You know, in this world, we're going to handle things and experience things that are not lovely and can be hard. Sometimes sleepless nights catch up with us. Sometimes not understanding what God is calling us in our lives to be as mothers can be hard too. But we can come before God. We can lay these things down at His feet and say, God, I don't understand. I am willing to have joy in the midst of this moment, but I don't understand it. And I want to take you back to a few days ago when we talked about the name of God, and there's many of them, but the one we studied about in Genesis chapter 16 a couple days ago about God's name, El Roy, and that means the God who sees me. So when you are in your trial, just rest assured that God sees you and He knows, and He is our strong tower, and we can run to Him and be safe. In the midst of our trial, we can remember that God has a plan for us and that we are going to come through it with a lesson learned, with stronger patience, with stronger faith, and in the time that doesn't feel very comfortable. But it is important to remember that God is working in our lives, even in the midst of trials. Why would I talk about this tonight? I think it's something that we as Christian mamas can avoid. I think that we want to sometimes pretend that all is well and everything is great, and we have this beautiful baby and this beautiful life, and we do. But sometimes we have trials in the midst of that beauty, and that is sometimes the way life is. And I want us to not pretend to not have it, and I want us to not hide from it. I want us to be so honest with God about how we feel in the midst of our trials. I think sometimes we even think we need perfect prayers, like we have to come before God with just perfection, but that's not true at all. God says, just come to me. And I love in the Word where it says, draw nigh unto me, and I will draw nigh unto you. God asks us to come towards Him, and He will come towards us. And we can be so honest with God. It's the most beautiful way to have a great prayer life, is just to be honest with the Lord in these moments, these quiet ones in the middle of the night when you're just alone in that room. And hopefully you feel a little less alone tonight just listening to the podcast. But when you are physically just taking care of that baby in the evening, and these thoughts come to mind, and maybe sometimes your thoughts do veer towards the trials, just remember that He is with you, that He is near, that we can draw nigh to Him, and He will draw nigh unto us. And we can know that God sees us and that He's with us and that He has good plans for us. Jeremiah 29:11 is one of my absolute favorites. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And we can rest assured in that. And it's not just for us. It's also for our babies. He has good plans for them too. And guess what, Mama? You are a part of that good plan. He knew exactly who to give that baby to. He knew the plans He had for that baby when He gave that baby to you to nurture, to love, and to tend. What a gift, right? It just feels so beautiful. What a beautiful gift that God has given us, that we get to be a part of that beautiful plan for that baby. So tonight, I want to encourage you to cast your cares on Him, for He cares for you. And it's okay to be honest about it. It's okay to say, God, you've given me such a beautiful gift, and yet sometimes I struggle with feeling that I am in the midst of a trial while taking care of this beautiful blessing. Yes, find joy in it. Find joy in those moments, and remember that God is going to give you the most beautiful gift. Just plans that He has for you in the midst of these trials to strengthen you, to grow your patience, and to grow your faith. It'll be interesting on the other side to see the lesson that you are learning right now. So, Mama, take care. Have joy in the journey. Look forward to the things that God is doing and is going to bring out of this place. And know that you are not alone and that you are very loved. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will see you again soon. Take care, Mama.